Good morning, everybody. I don't have anybody in this live yet, but I know you're coming. Good morning. It's 10:30 here in Austin, Texas, and this is our official Towwn live. This is our first one. I'm really excited. I really am appreciative for all you joining. I see We Sow, We Grow, so I'm going to go to Natasha. But thank you so much, everyone, for being here. This is really, really cool. I'm really excited. I am totally giddy on the inside. And hi!
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, it's so much better now that I see your face. How are you?
I am doing well. I saw that you said it was cold in Austin. You want to guess Chicago's temperature?
Oh, Lord. 12?
We are below zero now.
Oh, jeez, Louise.
Yeah.
Whew. Sounds.
You want the hat? Hold on one moment.
You're good.
On the dresser. Okay, I'm so short. This is ridiculous.
Well, I don't think you're shorter than I am.
I think we're the same height, actually. Yeah. What are you, 5'2", 5'3"?
Yeah, I'm like.
Yep.
I mean, I say I'm 5'4".
See, there we go.
I'll milk it.
I think the last time we stood next to each other, we were able to look each other in the eye.
We definitely looked each other in the eye. I gave you a good snuggle, even though you weren't happy about it.
Oh, I welcome your hugs now. We are far past that. I think I was initiated very well in 2019.
Well, I am so grateful and so excited to see you here on Towwn. I've talked to you a bunch about Town, and this has been a work in progress and my passion project, and I am so excited to host our first Towwn Live and launch today with one of my favorite human beings on the planet, Natasha Nicholes, who runs We Sow, We Grow. And just really quickly, just for everyone who is not familiar with Towwn, we started Towwn with the idea of making a big impact on our planet, but starting with ourselves, sort of with ourselves in mind. And we're in the cycle of overconsumption and just running low on our natural resources as well. And so we really believe that sustainability is more than just saving the planet. It's about connecting to what truly sustains us. So that is where we need to learn to take only what we need and give back where we can. And in nurturing ourselves, we can nurture our community and our planet. So, which brings me to one of my favorite humans, Natasha. And
sorry.
You're totally fine. But I learn from you every single day. I love going to your platform. I love watching what you're doing. I love texting you and saying like, oh shit, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. It's freezing tonight. What do I do with my plants? I really love your connection to nature and doing that in an urban setting, and also giving back to your community. So I would just love for you to talk a little bit about what you're doing and what you're up to and how you started, and fill everyone in.
Okay. Well, as Jim stated, I am Natasha Nicholes. I am a proud Chicagoan, born and bred here, and love my city. However, my city doesn't always love the neighborhoods equally. So when my husband and I relocated from the west side of Chicago, which was 7 minutes from our downtown, thriving, bustling, to the far south side of Chicago, we noticed several things. That we were moving into a neighborhood which had the highest rate of home ownership in the city, but the land, the surroundings did not reflect that. There are so many empty lots around here, and empty buildings, and the bones of the buildings are amazing because these structures were born in 1900s and the late 1800s, but nobody lives here any longer because the owners either passed away or aged out of them. So my big idea when we moved, because we built our house from the ground up, I wanted a backyard garden. I wanted to be able to grow tomatoes and cucumbers successfully. And that happened. We did it. It was gorgeous. And as with all things that I do, I wanted to go bigger. So we started an urban farm. And that started in 2016. So the We Sow We Grow project was born in May of 2016. And our whole purpose is to provide garden education to the masses, not just Chicagoans, not just my area in West Pullman, but to the masses, while also providing a source of hands-on education for those people who live in the city. And then food for people who are hungry, because there's no way that my family of six can eat everything that we grow. So we tend to give away a lot, and then if people donate, we take those because it does take money to make this function. But our entire purpose is to get folks to love growing their own food. And so far, we are international. So we got a couple of people in New Zealand and Japan, and France and the Netherlands. I know those are the places that are the farthest from us, but we are a group that is going, and I love seeing how we had people who stated openly that they couldn't grow anything and showed proof of it. And now they have their backyard gardens thriving, and some of them are prettier than mine, so I'm a little bit jealous. But it's fun to see folks embrace something that was inherently seen as what kind of poor folks did, right? And people out of necessity. And we want it to be accepted for those people who do grow food out of necessity and who do it because it's a stress relief or a grief relief or just something where they just enjoy seeing the beauty in their backyards or on their back porches or in their homes. No matter what type of grower you are, you're welcome in our community.
That's awesome. Well, yeah, it's so funny. I was just having a conversation with a friend of mine, and we were talking about this connection to our food and reprogramming our habits and our community to not go for the food in the grocery store that's like, from thousands and thousands of miles away, but to pay attention to what's growing in your own backyard. And I think you mentioned something about what the poor people used to do about growing your own food, and she was
Mhm.
sort of talking about that as well, that we have this stigma that's beneath you, to grow your own food, that you should go for the fancy fresh stuff, and that's just, it's not the case. And I feel like our health system is deteriorating, our just overall we really need to connect again and understand that like simpler is there is better in a lot of ways, and
Yeah, there's a
simplify.
beauty in simplicity. There is a beauty.
100%.
And my desire is not to put grocery stores out of business.
Right.
However, we want to make sure that the stuff that you're consuming the most of is the healthier stuff, and we just want you to have fun doing it. That's the whole purpose of us. And we do talk about local systems. So in our group, we do more than just getting you from seed to table. We educate about soil. We educate about terminology. We educate about the things that you should be doing in order to grow the best things. And then, we also educate you about, this may not grow well in your area, so you're going to have to go to the grocery store to buy it. And unless you have a cow or a sheep out back, you're not going to be able to get milk unless you go to the grocery store or your local farmer. I want people to understand too that food is political. And that there are things set up for the people who need food the most and can't afford it, that prevents them from getting it. And we want to be able to get them that food. So a lot of people don't know that if you receive food stamps, SNAP benefits in the nation, you can buy seeds and you can buy already started plants as long as they are food quality plants. And a lot of people didn't know that. So they wanted to be able to grow with us, but couldn't afford a $7 plant. But what they'll do is they will budget their SNAP benefits and they'll buy a plant, maybe a month or every week. And then they have a nice little garden going. And a lot of people didn't know that. and it blew a lot of their minds because you don't see something in soil and think, okay, that's food. I can grab that with my SNAP benefits and grow healthier versions of whatever I'm getting. Um, it's it shouldn't be political, but it is. And we kind of fight for the folks who don't know or can't don't have the voice to fight for themselves. And anybody who knows me will tell you I have a pretty loud voice, and I'm not afraid to use it. And it gets me in trouble sometimes, but I'm willing to deal with it.
That's good. It's good to get in trouble sometimes. Sometimes we have to be the
Yeah,
squeaky wheel to get things done, right? So
yeah.
that's always
Um, and I saw a question. Yes, we do teach on saving seeds. We just hosted a summit last year that spoke on that. And here's the thing: with everything, you need money to be able to do the work. My husband and I have been doing this out of our pocket for the most part since 2016. We have been pulling in donations, but we cannot continue to house what we have in the house, and it's growing way bigger than what we want. So we're looking to purchase a building to host classes and start our seeds and all of that other stuff. So if you do end up following me, that's what you'll hear a lot about, our journey to buy our own building and have the We Sow We Grow project headquarters.
And where can they go to donate if they want to donate?
Well, here on Instagram, you can click the donation button in my profile. It's right up top with the bio. If you are a Facebook user, if you go to We Sow We Grow, the page, you can donate there, or you can go to WeSowWeGrow.org and click the donate button at the top of the page, and it'll take you to the page to donate. Any of those ways, we accept it because we have a big audacious goal, and we can only do it with the help of the people out there.
Um, I love what you're doing, and I think it's so amazing, and I can't wait to go and visit in real life, and visit what you're growing and stuff. I have one more quick question for you because I know that you're a busy lady. How would you tell someone to get started? For someone who's never gardened but has a curiosity about growing their own food, how would you tell them to get started?
Start. You need something to grow in, and you need growing medium, and you need seed of something that you love eating. If you are going to start growing, please don't pick out something that you know you will never ever eat right off the bat. That comes later down the road, right? When you can experiment a little bit. And your growing pot doesn't need to be fancy. You can buy grow bags, and you can get them at several gardening centers. You can get them at several gardening sites online. You can get them at Amazon if none of those are applicable to you or budget conscious for you. And you get soil. And soil you can get from these big box stores. You can get them from your gardening center. We make our own soil mixture because it's better for us. But I know that that's not cost effective for a lot of people. So my advice is, honestly, get something to grow in. You can grow in a big tote box and divide it up into square footage and grow something in each of those square feet. And you will be surprised, because that's how we started at our old house. We didn't have a backyard. We just had a back porch, and we used those big totes, Rubbermaid totes, that we all moved our college belongings in back in the day. We filled it with bags of soil. And you want garden soil or raised bed soil, check the prices, and you want to mix it with some sort of compost and go for what you know. Make sure that you have drainage holes in it, and read the back of the package and go. And here's the thing: just because you plant does not mean that it is going to be successful. And some of the things that you plant and the seedlings start and they look real bad, those will sometimes be your best producers ever, and you'll be surprised. So knowing going in that everything may not turn out the way that you want them to, and you can put all of this love and effort, it's just that everything didn't line up the way that it's supposed to. If you keep that in mind, you'll be successful in everything, right? Because gardening, we know that wild animals, the wildlife, love good food just as much as we do. If you followed our journey and our adventures last year, you know that we had a time with the rabbits. The rabbits loved eating our cabbage and our Brussels sprout and our kale and everything as much as we wanted to eat them. And I think we planted those varieties 3 different times before it stuck. Before the rabbits were like, okay, we're gonna leave them alone. This buffet has gone down in quality, so we're gonna leave them alone. And it's frustrating, but if you want to start, you just got to start. You got to make the effort to start, and then come and join our group, and we'll hold your hand all the way through. And no question, honestly, I know people say this a lot. When you are just starting out, no question is a stupid question at all, because it's not inherently, this isn't something that you just know right off the bat. You kind of gotta experiment with technique. You have to learn your area and your zones, your hardiness zones we talk about. And then if you are like some of us who are more adventurous, you'll learn that you can kind of push the envelope a bit and grow things in your areas that the seed packets say that you can't grow. But it's fun to experiment. And if you have children, get them involved, because what will happen is they will nurture something from seed to harvest, and then they will be more prone to eat that. And they'll be excited about it too. And they will be just as frustrated when a rabbit or a deer or a dog. We had the first year that we grew in our backyard, our dog Dennis decided that he wanted to eat all of our cabbage. So we came outside to him munching the massive heads of cabbage that we were going to harvest. And I'm glad that he enjoyed it, but we didn't get to.
But you didn't.
We didn't get to enjoy it that year. No, not at all. Not at all.
My kids do that sometimes with our lettuce and such, and they'll all of a sudden give it to our chickens. I'm like, no.
And chickens will also eat everything in sight if it's green. So if you do keep chickens like Jen and I do, make sure to protect
keep them separate.
Protect your garden. Otherwise, they're going to enjoy all of your stuff before you get to eat it as well.
Everyone else will have a bite before you do.
Yeah, it's really bad. And then you'll want to maybe possibly serve the chicken for dinner. I mean,
there
you get frustrated.
Regenerative farming.
Yes.
Did you?
I'm looking at comments. I'm sorry.
No, I know. I'm sorry. Is there anything else that you want to answer? Or
Sure. So someone just said they moved into a new apartment with a small balcony, and they're excited to start growing there this year. And what do I suggest? To grow in containers. So here's the thing. You can grow almost anything in containers. So, surprisingly, as long as the container is large enough and you have enough space for things that are going to trellis out, or you build a trellis up. If you like things like cucumbers and tomatoes and herbs, you can grow those in containers. You can grow corn in containers. You won't get a lot, but you could grow corn in containers. You can put zucchini in a container, but that container would have to be pretty large in order for the zucchini to root the way that it's supposed to and then spread out. The most important thing, though, is to have a good source of sunlight. You want to be able to make sure that your plants are not getting leggy. And legginess is when your plant starts to stretch towards the source of sunlight. And what happens is it weakens the stem, and then they end up dying anyway. So I would suggest growing what you love to eat. Again, I'm always going to say that. And making sure that you have enough space to grow whatever you like. There are good setups too on Instagram where people only grow in containers, and you'd be surprised to see how they've kind of done their back porch. So you can look up like hashtags back porch gardening, porch farming, and folks will show you that too. You can grow garlic in containers, tomatoes. What else do we like?
So many creative ways too. I've seen wall hangings, and it's almost like a work of art in the way that people present it. So you don't have to get afraid.
And you can build a grow wall
Hmm.
up the side, just as long as it's going to get sunlight. And if you don't have a good source of sunlight, if you have grow lamps, which are relatively inexpensive now these days, they need to be LED. And if you can't remember to turn them on and off, you can put them on a timer. That'll help as well, and you will still get relatively good quality produce from that. It's not ideal, but there's always a way if there's a will.
Sure.
Yeah.
So before
Oh,
my
and mint, don't put mint in the ground, guys. If you love yourself, don't ever put your mint in the ground.
mint
It
is an
is
army.
yes, it is it's an invasive plant, which means that wherever it goes, it spreads out. So are strawberries, so is basil. So if
Really?
you want to grow mint, put it in a container. I'm not saying mint is bad. It's very good for things like mojitos and mint tea, and putting
Lemonade.
in your lamb. But it will spread everywhere, and you'll have a mint lawn instead
Oh
of
yeah.
instead of
We
just
just
mint.
one of our beds that we removed everything and then replanted. The mint, we removed all the mint because this mint had taken over the entire bed. We removed it and it's still found its
Yep,
way back in.
yep.
It's
It
amazing.
throws out runners, and you'll notice if you plant strawberries, strawberries do the same thing. So they go underneath the ground, and they'll send out a runner, and then it'll pop up somewhere else, and all of a sudden you have strawberries. Our neighbor, we didn't know this when we planted strawberries. Our neighbor had strawberries from our strawberry plants growing on her side of the fence for like 2 seasons.
That's amazing though. I think I just the intelligence of plants, like
Yes.
it's so fascinating to me and I just love
Yep.
it. And a gardener friend of mine, he loves to say, well, life wants to live because all of a sudden there'll be this like random, onion in the garden. And it's like, how did that, it's just, I love that, like the way that nature works and operates, and you can see it so well within your garden and how, there's this suddenly a mint,
Yep. And
bushes and the,
typically we like to refer to those things as volunteer plants,
yes.
but mint is literally an army. And
It's
my grandmother at her house, she and my grandfather planted mint, I think before my dad was born. In their like along the alley to keep rodents away. And I'm 40, and that spearmint still comes up every single year in the alley behind them, and it smells so good. And I know why
yeah.
people plant it, but yo, mint is relentless.
But it's good for your breath. One of
It
my
is.
kids loves to go out and pretend he brushed his teeth and we'll start
Yep,
chewing on the mint. So
yep. And tea, you can make everything from it. You can make tea. You can do some mint essential oil if that's your
mhm.
jam. It's wonderful, and it is a good rodent keeper. It keeps
Yeah.
rodents away. If you have chickens, they're good rodent hunters as well.
Especially
But
guinea
and it
fowl.
makes it makes everything smell good. So I understand why people kind of want to put it everywhere, but don't do it. Love yourselves, please. Love yourself.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love you. I'm so appreciative to be able to chat with you. And I would love to set up more of these and keep going and continuing our conversations because I know that all of our audience loves listening and learning from you. And I soak it all up. So I'm so appreciative for you to be here and be part of the Towwn community. And I love and adore you and so appreciate you. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be your inaugural
Yeah.
guest. This is awesome.
I love
We are definitely going to have to chat more and maybe do some themed things for your town community.
We love it. Anytime. All right, Larry. Well, I will chat soon. I so appreciate it.
Okay, and if you all have any questions, feel free to DM me or chat me up. Chat me up under a photo on the handle.
Yep.
I'm there.
We'll be posting this.
Okay. Talk later. Bye.
Bye.